Hi, I'm Alex, welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Hyliion. I've made a video on them before, so if you haven't seen that already, you should definitely check it out, because this video is going to be more of an update covering some of the latest developments and latest things that we need to be aware about, and that may have a big impact on the share price. Also, as part of this video, I'm going to cover one thing that I haven't seen anyone else yet talk about, which is especially important if you're thinking about investing more or you're a new investor to Hyliion, so you don't want to miss that. Now let me start off by saying I do like Hyliion. I do have a very small stake in the company, but later in the video I'll come into more detail as to why I don't have a larger stake and some of my concerns around it. Now in my full-time job, I'm a professional investor, and one thing a very senior industry veteran once said to me was that any investor can identify the key highlights of a business. Good investors can identify the key risks that that business faces, but the best investors identify what those risks are and understand what the mitigants to those risks are that make it a clear and compelling investment case. And that's what I'm always going to try and do as part of this channel. I will always give the good and the bad, and when we touch on bad things, look at the potential mitigants of those issues. And unfortunately, when I do sometimes say negative things about certain stocks, the video gets a lot of dislikes. So smash the like button if you want to see more content where we look at stocks and look at everything that you need to know about them. We look at the risks and we address those. It's really helpful if you do smash the like button, helping pushing the video to a wider audience and helping recover some of the damage that's been done to the like-dislike ratio by people disliking the videos where I've called things out. If you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button if you like seeing investing related content. As always, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is purely for educational and entertainment purposes only, but let's get straight into it. Now the first thing we should be thinking about is the merger timing. So at the time of filming, and depending on how long it takes me to edit this, hopefully at the time of upload, it's not yet been announced when the merger will become effective, i.e. when the ticker will change. As we've seen has been the case with a number of other SPACs, at this point, when the merger happens, typically the share price does increase. However, given this is not actually reflective of underlying trading performance of the business, and it's purely based on speculation and the hope that other investors will then be able to invest into the business at that point, this is somewhat of a speculative play. But if Hyliion follows the same trends that other SPACs have followed, we may be able to expect that when we know the merger date and when the merger becomes effective, we see a share price increase. So this one's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Next up, we need to talk about the announcement from the SEC and the changes that have been made to direct IPOs. Last week, the SEC announced that there were going to be changes to how direct IPOs could be carried out. And in short, the change now means that companies can go public and issue new shares to new investors at the same time. Previously, direct IPOs only allowed existing shareholders to sell their shares. Ultimately, what this means is that companies that are looking to go public now have a new option, and now perhaps being acquired by a SPAC is a little less attractive. However, for Hyliion, and as is the case with other SPACs where there's announced and progressed transactions, I don't think there's going to be any impact whatsoever. I think the real challenge here will be investing in SPACs which don't yet have an acquisition target identified. So in short, I don't think this will affect Hyliion's share price whatsoever. Next up, we need to talk about the potential legal action against the transaction. Last week, Weiss Law announced that they were going to launch an investigation into the transaction to determine whether the board acted in the best interest of the shareholders and whether the transaction is actually fair for them. Now this did spook some people, however, this is actually fairly common in the SPAC space. And personally, I'm not overly concerned by this. I think it's just a law firm ambulance chasing and ultimately trying to capitalise on the media frenzy that we're seeing around Hyliion now and trying to get in on some of that action. So personally, I'm not concerned by this. However, I will keep a close eye on this, and if that view changes or if anything else comes up that's worth knowing, I'll of course provide an update on that. So quick apology, my mic's died of battery, so sorry if the audio sounds a little bit strange now, but I'm going to continue. Now next up we need to talk about the warranty. Now there's been some chatter and some rumours online that perhaps the retrofitting of Hyliion's drivetrain into existing vehicles voids the manufacturer's warranty for that vehicle. Now this is something I'm still digging into and still trying to understand more about. So if you have any insight or intelligence on this, please let me know in the comment section below as I carry on trying to do my digging around this topic. However, it obviously is important to understand. What this ultimately may impact is the addressable market for this retrofitting. The key things we really need to know are how big is the addressable market and how many of those customers would not retrofit Hyliion's powertrain because of the risks to the warranty. So really for me, in the next stage of diligence here, I'm trying to understand really what the impact on the addressable market is here. On the basis of my current understanding, I currently don't feel that this is a massive impact on the business. The retrofitting of the drivetrain is actually only a small part of the business plan, and ultimately over time will become a decreasingly important part, as new vehicles which are manufactured and sold are sold with these drivetrains as standard. The key here is how Hyliion partners with those to make sure that it's their drivetrains that's fitted into those vehicles. However, this is something that I'm still doing more diligence on. Now, if you're thinking about investing more in Hyliion, or you're a new investor to Hyliion, then you might want to pay attention now. At the point of filming, Hyliion's warrants are trading way behind that of the shares. What this means is there's a big arbitrage opportunity. The price of the warrants, plus the execution price, is way below that of the actual share price. Meaning that if you have long-term conviction in Hyliion, and you want to be a shareholder in the long term, this is something you should definitely consider. It may provide a much more interesting and much more exciting reward profile than holding the ordinary shares would. But what we can't escape from the fact is that a lot of the growth in share price is being driven by speculation and the fact it's becoming a meme stock. The underlying financial performance doesn't justify the increases in share price we've seen. But that being said, the way other stocks have performed at this point in time, I would not be surprised if we see the share price increase quite materially from where it is now. I've seen loads of videos on YouTube where people have put out some quite crazy price targets, and ultimately those aren't underpinned by any financial analysis, and it's purely speculation. So I have a very small stake in this to enjoy the ride, but entirely acknowledging that this is a speculation-driven stock, and that's why it doesn't form a larger part of my portfolio. It's not aligned closely enough to the investment thesis I've had for the last decade that's generated me really good, consistent returns. But on this one, I don't want to miss out. It's super interesting, so I am holding a very small stake. Yes, I get a lot of comments how I'm going to miss out massively, but that is life. I love seeing the stories of people having done amazingly well on Hyliion. Good luck to you all. So thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please smash the like button. If you like investing related content, then subscribe to the channel. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in another video.